What is up, guys? It's your boy Shady Luke back with another video. And man, that was a rough game. That was a rough game for Miami Dolphins versus the Bills, who I kind of like the Bills this year. I really do like the Bills this year, and I think that they're being underrated. Um, but I mean, if we're gonna take away anything from tonight, this story of the night is Tua. And it's just scary. It's really scary because we've already witnessed this with Tua a couple years ago, and it was just really scary then. And the way the Miami Dolphins handled it wasn't the best, and there was a lot of criticism. And you just have to wonder, man. Like, there was a lot of people talking. I remember there was a lot of people talking when he hurt himself that first time and the second time. There were so many people talking about, like, could this be it for him? Like, could this be it for this dude's career? And you know how it went. In the offseason, he said, I'm going to keep playing. He came out with a thing with his family talking and all that. We're just, like, super psyched. There's a lot of people that really like Tua. There's a lot of people that like to criticize his game, but we know he can ball at times, right? And he just overall seems like a good dude. But, man, with this injury and so many concussions, you just have to wonder, man. You just have to wonder, like, how does Miami handle this? Like, how does the league handle this? Especially a league that's taking so much emphasis, putting so much emphasis on players' health long term, right? I mean, you got this guardian caps, you got the head-to-head protection, like you got there's just so much in the protection of these players. The new kickoff rule, and we just see Tua. This happened to Tua. Tua's like 26 years old, and for him to have all these head injuries that he's already have, me, even though I'm clearly a massive football fan, Eagles fan, but massive football fan, these guys, like, I love watching these guys play. But aside from them playing, you do got to remember that they also are people, and these people have families. They have their own lives away from sports, and we want to see them walk away from the game with their money and as healthy as possible. And for this, man, with these concussions, it's scary. It's scary, especially with all this talk in these last, 5 to 10 years with CTE. And I mean, just the way Tua looked tonight was scary. And I don't even know anything. I don't know anything medical about, like, that type of field. You know what I mean? But just anybody watching that game could look at the way that he was down on the ground and be like, that's not right. Like, that's not right. Like, that dude should not be playing football anymore. And I hopped on X. I saw a lot of ex football players saying, "Hey, man, like, this guy should really rethink his career." And us, we can say things, and I'm sure there's some fans that, like, hope that he doesn't stop playing the game. And it's not them being selfish, but they want him to be healthy. But they're also like, dude, I love that guy. Like, I'm a ride or die for Tua. And I understand that. And I get it, man. But, there's that other side of you as a fan that also is like, yeah, man, like, it's getting choppy. You know what I mean? Like, it's getting a little bit scary. And, who knows? Who knows? At the end of the day, it's all up to Tua. It's all on what Tua wants to do. But I wouldn't be shocked if the league with Goodell gets involved in the Miami front office, gets involved in, I don't know. I'm not going to say they shut him down for the rest of his career playing. This year, though, it's something that could be discussed because we're only in week 2, and this is already happening, and he's already had a past with these type of things happening. So it's just like, you don't know, man. You don't know. So I guess we'll see what happens, man. It also comes down to Tua having those discussions with management and, management, the team, the league, talking with his family, discussing his future in the league, for his long term, just for his everyday life out of the league. So, I guess we'll see how that goes. Dude walks away from the game. He'll be well set up. And, for all we know, Tua's still involved in the league somehow or in college football somehow. Not making any assumptions, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I just want to see Tua healthy. I want to see Tua healthy, and um, we'll see what happens, man. But to go off of that, let's just like change things up a little bit. Let's talk about Deshaun Watson, man. Let's talk about Deshaun Watson. And I have a family member that he was criticizing the signing of Deshaun Watson for the Cleveland Browns. And me and another family member were like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, Deshaun Watson is so good. Deshaun Watson is such a good quarterback. Why wouldn't they trade for him? When the Cleveland did trade for Deshaun Watson, keep in mind, I'm a massive Baker Mayfield fan, right? And I'm like, I know Baker Mayfield had a rough year, but I also know that Baker Mayfield can ball. Like, the dude can play the quarterback position, and he can play it good, right? So many people know that. I know he played through the shoulder injury. It wasn't the best of the year. But there was a side of me that when he left, I was like, he could still play good somewhere else. I didn't know how good, but I was like, the dude can still ball. Fast forward to now, and we're in this year with Deshaun Watson, and I mean, it's only week 1. So this is early, right? But you have this new accusation coming out, and his week 1 was pretty rough. Like, it was pretty rough. And it didn't look the best. It really didn't look the best. And, there's a lot of people talking about his play. And it's just so tough, man. I remember when they signed him for that 5-year, $230 million, total guaranteed $230 million. And the whole league was like, what the hell, man? Everybody was like, what are the Browns doing? And I mean, by them signing him, it like kind of set, what would you say, like the pay algorithm for like quarterback tier. Obviously these other teams are smarter about the way they like sign their players, but I remember when the Browns did that, and there were so many football experts like, what are they doing? Like, that is the stupidest thing they just did. And we had so many questions going in, but we're like, hey, okay, let's pump the brakes. That's a big contract. But it's Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson can ball. We all know he can ball. I mean, let's not act like this dude wasn't pulling out anything and everything in Houston with D-Hop and just going off, him and D-Hop. But, man, like last year and now week 1, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes going forward. We're just going into week 2. But it didn't look good. It did not look good in week 1. And it's just kind of funny how it's kind of flipped, because Baker Mayfield finished strong, freaking beat my Eagles in the damn playoffs. Fucking beat my Eagles in the playoffs. I don't even want to talk about that. And he looked solid last year. Go on to his second year with Tampa Bay. In his first game, he looked good. Like, out of all the quarterbacks in this last week, I would say that Baker Mayfield honestly looked the best out of all the quarterbacks in the league week 1. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. I literally think that Baker Mayfield looked the best week 1. And he looked like his old self, too. Like, this dude, it's early. Like I said, I keep saying it's early, but I have to remind people, it's early, so things can change fast. Like, we got so many more weeks to go. But Baker Mayfield is super, super impressive right now, dude. Like, I turned on the film watching play in all 22, and I was like, this dude looks so damn good, bro. Like, I'm stunned. Like, the fact that he didn't even stay with McVay in LA, I'm like, oh. But then again, he gets a chance at Tampa, and Tampa's a good fit. They get Chris Godwin. They have Mike Evans, a couple other weapons. I think he looks really good there. And then you have the team that just basically just got rid of the dude. Like, just kind of like, well, like, we have this dude now. Baker leaves. Deshaun Watson comes in. They put all this money into him. They're invested now. They're invested in Deshaun Watson now. And he just doesn't look the best. And it's just it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. And I don't want to sit there and be like, oh, this is so Browns. But it's so Browns, dude. For this to happen, like, it's crazy. That the Browns fans, I ain't even trying to clown on your team. And I know you guys get, like, a little bit, like, any fan base is going to be ride or die for their quarterback. That's just how it is. Like, if there's potential for that dude to be good, they're gonna be ride or die. It just doesn't look good though. Like, you guys, you know what I mean? You just got to come to the realization if a player's not playing good, you just got to be real about it. And I feel bad. I feel bad for that fan base because the Browns, even with Baker Mayfield, they were competitive and their roster looked good. Like, the offensive line, there were questions about it when Baker was there. They weren't horrible. Like, they were. I thought they were solid. And the defense, they're so stacked on the defense, dude. Like, everybody talked about Myles Garrett. You don't want to know what I love about the Cleveland Browns is their defensive backfield, bro. I mean, you're just stacked there. You're stacked. You got two good corners. You got another good corner in the nickel. They're so good. They're so good. I like Newsome, Emerson. I'm sure I'm missing another, but they're so good on their defense and on their offense. I mean, they traded for Jerry Jeudy. They have Amari Cooper. They got who's it? Ford, Jerome Ford, and then they have Nick Chubb coming back from injury, coming back from ACL. That's a tough injury, but he should be coming back later this year. They looked like a team that could go to the playoffs, right? The only thing that's holding them back, is their quarterback play. And the crazy thing is, Joe Flacco, old man Joe Flacco was slinging it, bro. Like, he wasn't looking elite, but he was getting the job done. Like, he was making the offense move, bro. There were times when the offense was but Joe Flacco was doing his thing. He was slinging it out there. So now we're like, Deshaun Watson, do your thing. It's not looking good, man. It's not looking good. And I don't know what happens to all the legal stuff, but for the Browns' sake, I hope that in week 2, he bounces back. Like, I really hope that he bounces back in week 2. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm sure we'll keep talking about this all year and see what happens there. But it's interesting. It's interesting how the script has flipped with Baker and Deshaun Watson. So we'll see, Browns fans. I'm cheering for you guys, though. I'm really cheering for you guys. I freaking love your guys' team, and I especially love that defense. That defensive backfield is nasty, dude. Absolutely disgusting. Anyways, guys, drop a like if you enjoyed the footy, and for sure subscribe because you know and I know your boy's going to be dropping more adult football content. And it's football season, so come vibe with your homie. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you in the next one, and I'm out. Deuces.
You good? Yeah, let's go.